when I got home with my maple here the other day, I noticed on the bill that they'd charged me for 8 feet. Okay? At $7.69 a lineal foot. Well, that's pretty pricey. And I thought, well, that's funny. I don't remember it being that long. Well, it's 7 feet plus 1/8 of an inch. In fact, the guy who stocked the lumber, he even wrote a 7 on there. I didn't write that on there. So I'm kind of wondering, did they charge me an extra foot because it was just a hair over 7 feet? You know, with the taxes, we're going on about $9 a lineal foot. I mean, that's a lot of cups of coffee. Anyway, check into that later. But today, we're going to make the bottom of the bowl. Not the base, but the bottom. So I better get at it here. Now you're going to think I'm becoming a real cranky old man here or something. Notice this is only 7 1/4 inches across here. They call this a 1/8. No, this is not the fault of the lumberyard. They're all like this. I think it's probably like this all over the world. But why don't they call it a 1/7? It's a lot closer to 7 than it is to 8. Well, maybe that's why they charged me for 8 feet, because it was a little bit over 7. Anyway, the idea right now is I'm going to cut 2 boards, double the width of this. In other words, it'll be twice as long here as it is wide. And then when I take this piece here and glue it onto this edge, I'm going to have a piece that's about 14.5 inches in a square. And that's going to end up being the bottom. And we'll just double check here. Make sure I got it set right. You know the old saying, measure twice, cut once. You'll notice that I'm plunging the blade through and then pulling it back. Now that's sort of reminiscent of the old radial arm saw. And what is bad about the radial arm saw, it can all of a sudden start to climb and grab and then kick on you. Now I have never had it happen, but I can envision it happen, and I've heard it has happened to people. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is because I don't get any sawdust in the air. Now I've tried different combinations here, and I've concluded that the grain lines up best if I glue it together this way. And in order to make sure that I glue these up the same way, I'm just going to index this a bit here. Anyhow, I'm just going to pass it through the jointer just in case it's not quite beveled properly, because after the jointer's through with it, it will be. Now, I'm glad I bothered to check here, because this was out just a tiny smidgen. Not quite this much, because I backed it off here. But as long as you can micro adjust these things, you know, like, why not? Okay. Once again, I know where it is, but I can't see it. Nice tight fit. So, the idea of this is I'm going to use this to glue these things together nice and flat. And what I've done is, on these cauls that I've made up, I've got packing tape, clear packing tape on both surfaces, so that the joint is not going to glue to my wooden cauls here. And I've used this before 2 or 3 times. It works really, really well. Just homemade. Don't know what you call it. I call it my flat thing gluer upper, but I know that's not right. Anyway, that'll be when I get back from visiting my wife. And in the event I don't do any more today, thanks for watching. Well, I'm realizing that if I don't glue this up now, it's not going to be setting overnight. I've already done a dry run here, get my clamps all adjusted and everything. Makes it a lot easier. I think I'm putting way too much on here. It's gonna run pretty bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of squeeze out to have to remove later. Well, as I've said before, better too much than too little. Oh, I got that wrong. Oh my goodness. Now what am I going to do? Okay. Remember, I always say I show my mistakes. If I was to cut that out, you'd never know. There, that's better. All right. Okay, now these ones don't have to be very tight. Just a little bit here. Like I say, it does not have to be tight. However, the ones that are going to go across this way do have to be tight. And one more. Okay. Well, we'll see what we've got in the morning.